Can't lie, very disappointed we couldn't get Alonso, said Ashley Dooley. Ashley, my friend, I don't think you're alone. Most people in the chat tonight, I'm sure, myself included, are disappointed with the Alonso situation. But I'm not saying this makes it any better, but it does. I do respect that he's staying at Leverkusen. Whether it's a tactical thing for the Madrid job down the line, I don't know. But, he hasn't turned down Liverpool to go to another club. And that somewhat softens the blow. But it is definitely still a blow. A lot of us had our heart set on Xabi Alonso, and I was certainly one of them. Has Amorim talked about Liverpool yet? Not that I'm aware of, Troy. I've not seen any direct quotes from Mr. Ruben Amorim. A little bit here, though, which I found interesting from The Athletic. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this, but just to give you an idea of how Liverpool are weighing up candidates, who they're looking at, and who scores highly on Liverpool's list. This comes in from The Athletic and said, New Brighton's Roberto De Zerbi, Newcastle's Eddie Howe, and Lens' Frank Hasse have profiled well in Liverpool's data model, but are considered less likely to make Liverpool's final shortlist. Look, it doesn't surprise me, particularly Roberto De Zerbi scores high in that list. Eddie Howe as well, no surprise there. But as has been pointed out there by The Athletic, I wouldn't be stressing. I don't think we're going after any of those three. It definitely does look today like it's Ruben Amorim. Many journalists have come out today speaking about it. Of course, we had that news broke last night by Paul Joyce as well. And I just want to read you out Xabi Alonso's statement, because he was talking today at his Bayer Leverkusen press conference, and he has confirmed that he is indeed staying at Bayer Leverkusen. This is a little bit of what Xabi had to say. It's been a season where we've had a lot of speculation regarding my future. Until now, we've had so many games, been pretty busy and focused, and I wanted to reflect during the international break. Last week, I had a very good meeting with Simon Rolfs and Fernando Caro when I informed them of my decision to continue being the coach of Bayer Leverkusen. For sure, all of the decisions you need to analyse well. I tried to make the right ones. I tried to make them in a natural way. And at this moment, I felt that it is the best place for me to develop as a coach. I'm a young coach, but I have to feel it. Right now, I feel that this is the right place. I have to thank the management, the club. They've been really supportive, and I feel really respected by all of the departments. The fans showed great support during the last year in difficult moments. I felt that, and they've all been part of the reasons why we start to dream and have a great season, and we've actually been pushing for that. Great staff helping me day by day to work better and improve and to prepare the team. Basically just confirming that he is staying for another season at Bayer Leverkusen, which I've got to say, I totally respect. It's disappointment, of course it is. But as we've said, he's not going to Bayern Munich. Like I told everybody, he absolutely wouldn't. And Florian Plettenberg is going to have to get a spade out to start filling in that hole he dug. But look, confirmation there today that Xabi Alonso is indeed staying at Bayer Leverkusen for another season. Does that mean he ends up at Real Madrid? That seems to be the perceived wisdom here, yes. Evening, Craig, said Tom Judge. Hope you're well. I'm brilliant. Thank you, Tom. Brilliant. Why do we have the worst pull? We're Liverpool. I don't know what you mean, Mahmood. I don't get this defeatist mentality, bro. I don't. What do you mean by the worst pull? It's not like Alonso chose to go elsewhere. Alonso made probably a tactical decision based on his own career. Another season with Bayer Leverkusen where he will be in the Champions League, getting a bit more experience, and potentially then a move to Real Madrid where he'd get to coach Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Endrick, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Tchouameni, Alphonso Davies most likely. So I wouldn't take it as a rejection. It's just more career planning from Xabi Alonso. And honestly, I respect him for his decision to stay and see through some of that project with Leverkusen. If he was leaving to go to Bayern or something, honestly, I would take that as a bit of a slight, and it would sting. A rejection is a rejection no matter how you dress it up. See, the thing is, Dewey, there's something in what you're saying, but it's how you choose it. So there's a phrase that I try to talk to myself about every so often. And it's, if you can't change your situation, change your perspective. And that's what I would say to you here, mate. I'm not a defeatist human being. I don't look at a situation and throw my toys up in the air or out of the pram and go, nah, we're done, we're screwed. I look for solutions. And I look to try and spin things into a positive way if possible. So as I said, we can't change the situation, but we can certainly change our perspective and how we look at the situation. So is it a disappointment not to get Xabi Alonso? Yes. But what do you want us to do? Give up? Stop? Cry about it? It's not going to solve that, is it? We need to make sure that we're proactive, look forward, and be supportive of the new manager coming in. So I'm not a petulant child. In my younger days, I probably would have. I probably would have sulked a bit. I probably would have been a bit more annoyed about it. But I guess I'm at a different stage of life now where I try to look at things with a different perspective. And I just don't want the negativity to seep in. You know, it's very easy for our fan base to go from buzzing to really low. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a reason for that. So, yeah, I'm going to try and stay on the positive side and get behind whoever the choice is going to be. But I'm not going to lie, mate. It's obviously disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is. We're Liverpool Football Club. I've always said the same thing. You shouldn't need to be convinced to come here. You should be begging to come here. That's the way I look at it as a Liverpool fan. Just sucks that this may have been our last chance to get Alonso. Hope I'm wrong. 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of people saying, Alonso's okay, but I have doubts because of X, Y, and Z. And at the time I said, I understand your doubts. I think he's a great coach, and I think he would do a fine job. And I still do. But he's not the be-all and end-all. And I don't know if he'll ever have the opportunity to come back as Liverpool manager, or if he ever will become Liverpool manager. I don't know the answer to that. This is the best way we could be rejected, if you want to put it in that way. And look, has it tainted my view of Alonso a little bit? Yeah, it probably has. I still love him, but maybe our pulling power for him isn't as strong as we believed. Or maybe it is just a straight career decision. I don't know. Unless we see him address the Liverpool side of it, we may never know. Jack Howe said, I agree with the other super chat. Unfortunately, I love my club, but it almost feels like we never get major transfers over the line. It's odd. I can think of two that we poo-pooed the bed on. Bellingham stings for me, and the Werner one was a weird one because it just felt like we didn't really have the money to pay the money. And now, by the way, let me just say, when we're talking about transfers of players, I very much would get behind pushing for better and more money to be available to the manager. I think I look at these two situations slightly differently. With the coach, it's about getting the right guy, and he will be affordable. But when it comes to players, the jury's still out for me with FSG, and I do still have concerns about John W. Henry being a tight ass. So I would again say, not where's the money, John, but there best be money, John, because I know what's happened at the Red Sox. Come in, initial success, and then it's tailed off. That can't happen with Liverpool Football Club. We've only just gotten back to the top table, and we need to carry on being successful. So yeah, I hope the new manager's backed, and if he isn't backed, I promise you, I won't be backwards about coming forwards and speaking out about it, because that's a different situation for me to the coach. Brian, thank you for your super chats again, mate. He said, as disappointing as it is to not get Xabi, we do have to be encouraged that there are still people who exist that value loyalty and integrity. 100%. 100%. And I said all the way through the process, Brian, I can't tell you what Xabi Alonso will do, but if he stays at Leverkusen, I'll respect that because he's in a job, you know. I know we want him to depart, pack up and come to Liverpool, but he's seen through a project there, and as you said, you got to respect that. That said, Xabi is dead to me, he finished up with. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. A little bit of Xabi's gloss has been taken off for me. That, I guess, is my little bit of pettiness in there. There's no reason we can't spend money, says Madeni, as we've been very successful thus far. Well, we did have a season out of the Champions League this season, so I think that's a blot in the copybook. But we've also been fairly decent with money, and there is money to spend. I mean, don't be under any illusions that we haven't got money to spend. There is money to spend. It's just whether John cuts the check or not. Now, one thing to consider here is Jurgen Klopp came in and was always willing to work within the parameters of what FSG wanted and never really spoke out against the owners. Nothing to say Amram's not going to come in and be a bit more forceful or what's the other phrase I'm looking for here? Demanding of more money, because, you know, if we want to be a top club, yes, there's only so much we can do to be clever and not waste money, but we also have to act like a top club, and sometimes that involves paying the money. I'm still back and forth on the whole Caicedo thing, because technically they were putting up the money, but they never actually had to spend that money in the end. So it is strange, because again, we like 115 million would have been the club's biggest ever transfer, but we didn't have to pay it in the end. So they don't get the credit for that as much, and nor should they. If Xabi Alonso goes to Madrid next year, then he's not wanted when he had a chance to join. I'm kind of that petty as well, Robbie, mate. I'm not going to lie. For me now, this is, you had your chance, Xabi. You know, I look at it this way. As a Liverpool fan, through Liverpool fans' eyes, with someone who's quite petty, I look at it and go, yes, you've had the chance now. You were offered the Liverpool job to come in after Jurgen Klopp. Some could view that as a negative. I view it as you're getting a good squad and some great young players. And yeah, you turned down the call. So am I petty enough to say don't want him back at any point? If he goes to Madrid like that, then yeah, I am kind of that petty. Because if he ever does come back, I won't buy a single bit of the I love the club stuff. It'll just feel like that's PR at that point. So yeah, I'm kind of with you, mate. I don't think the club will look at it that way, by the way. I don't think the club will say now or never, but I'm kind of that type of guy as well. You know, as I keep saying, I don't think anybody need to be convinced to come to Liverpool Football Club, and that includes Xabi Alonso.